got the knife, then you get him. Oh, come on, let's get him up.
Mind if I drop in?
I'm gonna cut you, man. How about that?
John Ritter to the rescue as Captain Avenger in the new comedy Hero at Large, one of 5 new movies we'll be reviewing on Sneak Previews. And across the aisle from me is Gene Siskel, film critic of the Chicago Tribune.
And this is Roger Ebert, film critic of the Chicago Sun-Times. Now, in addition to Hero at Large, which I liked a lot more than Roger did, we'll be reviewing Cruising, the controversial Al Pacino film about a series of homosexual murders, Ally McGraw in the comedy Just Tell Me What You Want, Farrah Fawcett in the space adventure Saturn III. Now Roger begins with George Siskel, Natalie Wood as the last married couple in America.
Sometimes a movie comes along that has such a great idea behind it, such an intriguing title and such an interesting cast that you find yourself really looking forward to it. And The Last Married Couple in America was a movie like that. But who could have guessed that it would turn out to be one of the most dreadful, vulgar movies of the year, a complete mess that's not funny and is also unsavory and depressing. It stars Natalie Wood and George Siskel as a happily married couple whose friends and neighbors are all in the midst of divorces, adulteries, neurotic breakdowns. Can their marriage survive? Sometimes it's touch and go, as in this scene, where a passionate divorcee, played by Valerie Harper, makes a pass at George Siskel.
Barbara, no, not here.
But then let's go.
Will you quit saying let's go? I can't go. I'm running a business here.
Come on, you can leave yourself employed. Come on.
Besides.
Besides. What?
Well, besides, you know, this may sound funny, but I'm not really a chaser.
Well, you see, you are not chasing me. I'm chasing you.
Barbara, look.
Jeff, you look. I have had the hots for you, always. I just never did anything about it then. But now is now. You know, I just think it'd be real nice.
Barbara, listen.
What?
Thanks. Thanks. But no thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Siskel escapes intact in that scene, but Valerie Harper doesn't take no for an answer, and she eventually does seduce him. And then, wouldn't you know, Natalie Wood finds out her husband has been cheating, and we get one of the movie's many fight scenes.
I'm hurt. I'm deeply hurt. I don't give a damn what the new morality says. I'm hurt. I'm not hip enough to say it doesn't matter. It does matter to me. I thought we had something special. I thought you didn't need that. Or if you did, it would be a strange, or it would be discreet. No one would get hurt. No. What am I saying? I don't mean that. The truth is, when it comes to this, I'm a square. I won't have you around with other women.
Well, what about you?
That was years ago.
So what?
And you beat the hell out of me.
I slapped you once.
It was damn hard.
Now we're even.
No, we're not. That was different. We weren't getting along then.
No, we weren't, but still.
Anyway, I thought you forgave me about all that.
I did, but I gotta use something.
And I told you about it. At least I felt guilty.
You told me to hurt me.
Yes, that was part of it. But I also wanted to get it off my chest. You said nothing.
Well, I didn't have a chance. It just happened.
Just happened.
It was an accident.
What? What?
Yes, an accident.
You sleeping with her was an accident?
Yes.
Hey, okay.
All right, okay. Ow. Oh, okay.
Accident. Accident.
After a couple more battles like that, the marriage breaks up and Siskel and Wood plunge into the worlds of extramarital affairs, divorce, adultery, swinging singles, wife swapping, and goodness knows what other areas that I suppose could maybe have been funny if they'd been handled with even a little bit of taste, but taste is the last thing that The Last Married Couple in America has. This movie does have a lot of four-letter words and a lot of scenes that are really nothing but dramatized dirty jokes. The whole movie just leaves a bad taste in your mouth.
And yet it starts out so promisingly. You know, 30 minutes into it, we have George Siskel and Natalie Wood, the happy suburban couple, being attacked by all their friends who have been divorced many times, and we think it's going to be a challenging kind of picture about a very topical subject. Then, I don't know, I guess it has to be the script. For the next hour, it just falls off the table, and we get, as you point out repeatedly, a lot of dirty material, ending up in a sort of pathetic scene at the end with Siskel watching a guy make his wife undress for group sex. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
you just wonder what's going on here. What happened?
The whole thing turned sour. The job of a producer on a film like this is to assemble a package, and he's got a good one. Siegel, Natalie Wood, Dom DeLuise, Valerie Harper. The title, as I mentioned, is intriguing.
Yeah.
And then, as you point out, the whole thing just goes, it turns to ashes. It's just unpleasant. You leave feeling unclean. It's not a comedy at all. It's a really unpleasant exercise in
the next picture,
R-rated so-called
well,
entertainment.
The next picture is rougher. It's also R-rated and is making a lot of people very uncomfortable. Few films, I think, in recent memory have aroused more ill feeling before they've opened than the new thriller Cruising. It's about a cop trying to solve a series of violent stabbings in the kinky underground of New York's homosexual community. While the film was being filmed in New York City last year, it was vigorously protested by leaders of the gay community. They claimed that the film was anti-gay and would trigger violence against gays. I don't know about that. All I know is that Cruising is a pretty bad movie. Al Pacino plays a cop sent undercover to find the killer, but as he sinks deeper into the world of gay leather bars, the whips and chains crowd, he becomes sick of his assignment, tells his detective boss Paul Sorvino he wants off the case.
I didn't come on this job to can some guy just 'cause he's gay, Captain.
You're gonna come into days where you have to collar a dozen guys like that. Scared, weird little guys who don't know why they have to do what they do. It isn't their fault. It isn't your fault. It's the job.
I can't do the job. I don't think I can do the job, Captain. I don't think I can handle it. That's all. I don't know. It's just things happening to me, you know? I don't know that I can handle it. I want you to know that it's not because I'm afraid or anything. There's just stuff going down. I don't think I can deal with it.
I need you. You're my partner and you can't let me down. We're up to our ass, and I'm counting on you.
Now, the implication of that very vague scene is that maybe Pacino is worried that he's sort of getting attracted to all the violence that's going on, or that he himself might be discovering and fearing that he's gay. But all of this is just implied. There is very, very little that is stated directly in this movie. Believe it or not, what's not stated directly, who the killer is. At the end of the picture, we don't know for sure. Whoever he is nauseatingly portrayed as brutal. I had to look away from the screen twice while a knife was being plunged into a victim's back repeatedly, blood splashing around. It's disgusting. Cruising is needlessly violent, needlessly confusing. It is really not worth all the notoriety it's getting because of the gay protest.
I think the key word is confusing. One of the things that we go, when we go to see a thriller, one of the things we expect to know at the end of the thriller is who did it and why.
Yeah.
In a character study, one of the things we expect to know at the end of the movie is how the character is changed
You mean
and
the
why.
Pacino character who's investigating?
In particular, yes. At the end of Cruising, you got it right on the head. We don't know who did it and why, and we don't know if the Pacino character is changed and why. The end of the movie is so confusing, so baffling, so annoying, it's almost as if it's a total cop-out. They got into this material, they wanted to engage in this controversy, they wanted to show this character confronting these events, and then at the end of the film it's like they draw away from it and walk away from it and don't want to deliver in terms of the premises that they've already set up.
The most consistent and well-done material within their own world are those stabbings. That they knew they wanted to do that. It's a very sensationalized picture. I think a bad performance by Pacino. He just stares into the camera soulfully. We're supposed to read in something into his eyes. I don't know what. Another bad performance by him. He's had a lot recently. Regarding the protest, I take this position. You know, what any ethnic group or any religious group or any sexual preference group thinks of a picture, that's their business. Italians, I'm sure, did not like The Godfather. Some Italians. That's their problem. It was a great picture. Some gays won't like this film. That's their problem. It's a lousy picture. We just get paid to review the picture. This one is bad.
Okay, so much for Cruising. Next film. Just Tell Me What You Want stars Alan King as an incredibly wealthy, hyper-tense businessman and investor, and Ali MacGraw as a television producer has been his mistress for 15 years. But now he's cheating on her, and finally she gets fed up with him. In one of the movie's best scenes, MacGraw tracks down King in a Manhattan department store and really lets him have it. Audiences actually applaud that scene. It's a classic scene of physical humor. What happens next is that Ally McGraw tries to live her own life. She moves out to the West Coast, she goes into the movie business, she gets married, and basically, though, she still loves Alan King. And when King has a heart attack, she goes to visit him in the hospital, even though she knows he has another girlfriend.
Listen, Max, I know you're a very busy man, and I don't want to keep you. Also, I know you've got another visitor waiting to see you in the lobby.
What visitor?
That girl from the office, Kathy, isn't that her name?
Oh, you saw Cassie, did you? Let me tell you something, sweetheart. That little girl, she loves me. I mean, she's in love with me. She's a very special little girl. Bright and nice and good, and I adore her. I could wind up married to Kathy.
She's a wonderful girl.
I'm telling you the truth.
I believe you.
I tell you, she loves me.
I'm going to tell you something, Max, and I'm only going to say it once, so you better listen carefully.
What?
I love you, too. No, I really do love you. Enough that if Kathy is everything you say she is, she'll make you a wonderful wife.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for everything, kid. But if it comes to getting married, I might think about marrying you since you love me so much.
Thinking about marrying me, Max, and marrying me are two different things. I'm not on the market.
Sure you are. There's always a market for marriage. It's the quintessential deal. But first you got to define the terms, agree on the principle, get the quid pro quos all nice and tidy. Know what I mean, sweetheart? You can't run off blind like you did.
He's tough, but he's sweet. Just tell me what you want is an intriguing, ambitious movie about high-powered, neurotic, insecure people who can't admit that what they really need is really just plain old love and affection. It's a fascinating character study. I especially liked Alan King in this role. I think it's his first full-length feature film starring role, and I think he was very good in it.
He's very good in it, Roger. I mean, makes us laugh. He's sort of a crazy guy, got all the money, rich man. It's a memorable screen performance, the kind of thing that you'd like to see nominated even for an Oscar, but probably the picture isn't going to be successful. I think I know why, and I think I know why I really don't like the film, and that's the other major character, Ally McGraw, in the picture. She's not much of an actress. She was good in Love Story, but she was used as sort of a model back then, 10 years ago. Since then, she hasn't done much. And another bad performance this time. We don't buy when she talks. She also makes us uncomfortable. King is such a buoyant, upbeat personality. She's so depressing in this film. She has a side relationship with a playwright. They go off, spend a week together. Those scenes are just horrible because we want to get back to King, and he's very, very good. So we got a really, in my mind, a schizoid movie. One very good, entertaining performance, one very bad, dreary, dark performance. I don't like the film for that reason.
Well, I think on balance, I like the movie better than you did, but the thing I really want to point out is that Alan King, who we've seen on The Tonight Show, and we know he's a stand-up comedian, really comes out of, for my mind at least, comes out of nowhere with this performance. I didn't know he could act. Not only can he can act very well. I hope he gets some other roles on the basis of this film.
That would make the film a success in one little area. Yeah, I think you're right. Here's something very rare. A genuinely entertaining film that the whole family can enjoy. Now, usually when somebody calls a film the whole family can enjoy, The Kiss of Death, because it conjures up images of something ridiculous like a Disney film with a pet raccoon becoming president of the United States. But Hero at Large is a much better film than that. John Ritter from Television's Three's Company. In Hero at Large, he stars as a would-be actor working part-time promoting a new movie, a Superman-type adventure called Captain Avenger. Ritter dresses up in a cape and tights and masks and stands in front of a theater, shakes hands and signs autographs for the kid coming to see this movie, Captain Avenger. One night, however, coming home still wearing his cape and mask, Ritter begins to take his Captain Avenger role for real. He defends an elderly couple against a robber successfully. The news media makes a hero out of this masked Captain Avenger. The whole city begins to wonder, who is this guy? A few nights later, Ritter captures two more criminals, but this time he gets hit by a bullet. He makes it to his apartment building. We're still in costume. He comes face to face with his lovely next-door neighbor, Ann Archer.
Jay. Hi, Jay.
Miss Nichols? Is that you? Drunk as a skunk. What have you got on? It's a gag, right? You've been to a costume party.
I wish.
And what?
I got a little carried away this time.
You're not gonna tell me. S. Nichols is
Captain Avenger.
I don't believe it.
It's true.
What is it?
Jay, they got me.
You haven't got a bullet in there.
Mm-mm.
But you were shot?
Mm-hmm.
We better get you in your apartment.
It's locked.
What?
I didn't pay the rent.
Mrs. Havlicek, you are a wonderful person.
Isn't she?
Well, you can't just stay here. I better get you into my apartment.
Okay.
Can you stand up?
Yeah, I think so.
Put your arm around me. Okay. Here. Lean on me.
Oh, yeah, that helps.
You don't look that heavy.
I'm really sorry you have to deal with this.
You and me both.
It's not too serious. It stopped bleeding.
Don't talk, especially about bleeding. I have a little problem with that.
Ow.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Now, talk about surprisingly good performances like Alan King's. Well, I think John Ritter is equally good in this film. Later in the picture, with his identity still secret to most people, Ritter allows himself to be enlisted in a political campaign, but suddenly he doesn't like the way his Captain Avenger idealism is being used to back the mayor of New York City. So he goes to one of the mayor's public relations consultants, Bert Convey, to say that he wants to hang up his cape.
Great, huh? It's selling so good we can't keep it on the shelves. Well, I heard you were a big hit today.
Listen, Mr. Reeves, I'm not doing it anymore. I told myself all those things were true, about the people needing Captain Avenger, about going out a legend.
And?
Okay, and I wanted a part in a play. I wanted to be somebody.
What's the harm of doing something good for yourself?
The harm is I feel lousy. When I did it before, it was real. I felt great, not this time.
Steve, you had a big day. Why don't you go home, relax, think it over?
No, I thought it over. No.
We have an agreement.
I haven't collected my parts.
All right. Now, wait a minute. Wait just a minute. Steve, hold on a second. Something you should know about. The mayor's office has been in touch with me. They want to have a Captain Avenger Day. Not bad, huh? With television coverage. Everyone will get to see you. Really see you. I mean, listen, if you want to quit, okay. That's a nice way to go out, isn't it?
So what's he going to do? Is he going to give up the cape and mask? Is New York City going to lose a real-life superhero? I got involved in this story. A likable and believable performance by John Ritter in a very nice, heartwarming movie. Youngsters, I know for sure they're going to enjoy Hero at Large, but so too, I think, will their parents. I loved it.
Okay, Gene, here we have a disagreement. I want to be very clear my position on this film. I agree with you, kids will like it. I think and it's a very pleasant film. I'm not really saying anything against it. It's a very good-hearted film, but I think that as you grow older, as you edge from the teenagers up into the 20s and so forth, the older you are, the more this film is going to seem silly and simple-minded. I just don't think I can recommend it
Then you're
more
calling
adult viewers.
well, you're calling my reaction simple-minded because I'm slightly above teenage years.
Okay.
I saw this movie with a 27-year-old woman. She thought it was good. In the audience, I saw a friend of mine, a 37-year-old newspaper man who has a 12-year-old daughter. They both liked it. I know a 41-year-old woman who saw it with some friends and her children. They all liked it. Lots of evidence saying that adults liked it. There's such a good little story here, which is that one person can make a difference. We could all be Captain Avengers helping our neighbors out on the street. I bought
well,
it.
you're sitting across the aisle from your 37-year-old co-host on this show, and I say it's simple-minded and dumb. Now, who are you going to believe, me or those people you went to the movies with?
I'll trust myself. How's that?
Okay. Let's turn... Let's turn to one of the dumbest movies of 1980, or any year for that matter, a completely idiotic and hapless science fiction would-be thriller named Saturn III. The movie stars Kirk Douglas and Farrah Fawcett as the crew members of a space station circling Saturn, and one day a visitor arrives and he brings along a robot named Hector, who almost immediately starts roaming up and down the corridors of Saturn III as if he has a screw loose. In this scene, Hector the robot goes berserk.
Hector, put her down. Let her go. Conform. Hector, he'll do what you say. Alex, you ask him.
Hector, please put me down. Bring him here. Did you teach him to kill?
No. It's you. He wants you. We both do. He's learned too much from me. What happened? Major, help me. Major. Let the robot have him.
That's Harvey Keitel as the bad guy. He wants Farrah Fawcett for himself instead of letting her go with Kirk Douglas. Love triangle beyond the stars. I can't tell you how ridiculous this film is, and I also cannot resist describing how they try to get rid of Hector. Remember in those old Tarzan movies how they dig a hole in the jungle and then they put stakes at the bottom of it, covered up with leaves so the elephant would come along the path and fall through? Well, in Saturn III, they do the same thing. They tear up the floor of the space station, they cover over the hole with flimsy material so that Hector will fall through into a freezing pool of chemicals. And this is one of Farrah Fawcett's big scenes. She stands seductively on the other side of the trap trying to lure Hector to his doom. She says, "Come on, Hector, come on." Just like in the Tarzan movies, you Hector, me Farrah.
Yeah, it's a very, very bad film. There's really no story there, just a bunch of people chasing each other, running. Farrah Fawcett, oh no. It's like the Mr. Bill show, you know. I mean, it's just really stupid. I mean, I don't know what, you know, the only thing that we wait for in this picture is for her to drop the towel that she's wearing around her shoulder. She does it once, big deal. It's not worth the price of admission.
Hold on a moment, Gene. It's Spot the Wonder Dog leaping into the balcony to announce the week's worst movies, the Dogs of the Week.
I thought it was Spot. My dog of the week is yet another karate film, A Force of One, which wants to be an anti-drug adventure story, but it serves up that same old chop sake. It's the story of a California police department that hires a karate expert to train its officers in karate so they can stop a murderer who they think may be a karate expert. I wonder if they'd hire Arthur Murray if they thought the killer knew how to dance. Why don't they just shoot the guy and be done with it? Now, there's an anti-drug message every 20 minutes, but every 10 minutes there's a fight. Fights are what this film is really about. A Force of One is packed full of those familiar punches to the face and kicks to the groin. That whole anti-drug theme is just an excuse for the punch-out movie.
Sounds pretty bad. You know, Gene, I'm almost suspicious that Spot the Wonder Dog has picked my dog of the week this week out of professional jealousy. It's a kiddie matinee movie named The Magic of Lassie. And what's the matter, Spot? Do you sometimes wish you could be a big, brave collie dog and rescue tiny kittens from burning buildings, huh? Well, Lassie does all that and more in this pale and predictable imitation of the original Lassie pictures. The Magic of Lassie stars Jimmy Stewart as a kindly grandfather who gets a kiss from Lassie every morning. But then his grandchildren learn that their beloved adopted collie is legally the property of the mean old man who lives next door. Well, when the mean old man takes Lassie back home with him, well, Lassie runs away. And then James Stewart's young grandson runs away to look for Lassie. And then James Stewart runs away to look for his grandson and Lassie. And then the police start looking for all three of them. But then Lassie saves the kitten from the burning building. And then, well, sorry, Spot, but not even you could save this picture.
Well, so much for the dogs. Now let's recap our reactions to the main movies on this show. Both Roger and I agree that The Last Married Couple in America with Natalie Wood and George Siskel is a vulgar, foul-mouthed comedy. Two no's next to our names. We can't recommend you see The Last Married Couple in America, rated R. We also agree that Cruising with Al Pacino is a confused and ugly thriller that doesn't deserve all the attention it's getting. Two strong no's for Cruising, also R-rated. We disagree, however, on the comedy Just Tell Me What You Want. I liked about half the picture, the funny half, and the half Ally McGraw wasn't in. I say no. Roger found most of it intriguing, especially the sparkling performance of Alan King. Roger says yes. And we disagree on the John Ritter comedy, Hero at Large. Roger found it simple-minded, but I think it's terrific family entertainment for kids and adults. He say no, I say yes. And finally, Saturn III. I think that Farrah Fawcett probably gave the best performance of her life when she was on that poster, but Roger doesn't blame Farrah. He thinks the whole movie is idiotic. Two strong no's for the dumb space adventure, Saturn III.
Okay, Gene. Of the 5 major movies on this show, I think the one that has attracted the most attention is the one we both voted no against, Cruising, with a major director in Bill Friedkin, a major star in Al Pacino, and it's a major mess of a movie.
It absolutely is. I can't help but wonder if the studio didn't really relish all the protests by homosexuals of the film, because, quite frankly, that's all that's driving people to this theater, and once they get there, I think they're going to find there's really nothing on the screen.
I think you're right. I also liked Alan King in Just Tell Me What You Want. That was one thing I liked on this show.
And the other thing I can recommend is Hero at Large.
Okay.
Let the older teenagers try it.
John Ritter for the family, right?
Okay.
Okay. That's it for this show. Next time on Sneak Previews, Gene and I will review 5 more new movies, including Night Games, an erotic thriller about a woman's sexual fantasies, The Human Factor, a new British spy puzzle, and Coal Miner's Daughter with Sissy Spacek, starring in the life story of country music singing star Loretta Lynn. Until then, we'll see you at the movies.
Funding for Sneak Previews was provided by this station and by other public television stations.